Alright, so let's take one final look with kind of a short-ish little gameplay snippet. I've finally finished Breath of the Wild. This is after 110 plus hours. 110 is what the Switch says, and it says roughly 110, something along those lines. And I think the game's great, right? The game's fantastic. It does a lot of things right, mainly the exploration, the fun of that, the little puzzles along the way with the Korok seeds, even the shrines. So great. But as I played the game, and the more I played of it, the more I started to notice little things, and maybe they're nitpicky, and maybe we'll get into them in a minute. But I think one of the bigger things to me, I guess, is also nitpicky, but it's not my. I don't think this is my favorite Zelda game. Like, this is where the fuck am I again? Oh, Hateno Village is new, but looking at something like Kakariko Village, I think it's completely forgettable. I mean, think of Kakariko Village from A Link to the Past. Think of Kakariko Village from Ocarina of Time. Think of Clock Town from Majora's Mask. Think of fucking even Windfall Island, or the lighthouse. Why am I forgetting the name of that? It doesn't matter. Like, all of those towns are super interesting and memorable, and something I'll never forget, being stuck on that town in Wind Waker and having to find the sail and doing all this weird crap, and the school children. Like, everything has so much life to it there. And this is just the town, and it's so uninteresting. I think of, like, if we go there, and this is the map, you can see I have 55% clear rate, so I didn't fucking do nothing. I did quite a lot. Got about 370 Korok seeds on my own, no help for that. Not that I think you need help, but whatever. All the shrines. Obviously the 4 beasts. This map is a mess. This map is a giant mess. Anyway, Zora's Domain, visually interesting and cool. You're there for 5 seconds. There's nothing to do there. The journey to there is the least interesting Zora's River crossing, whatever the fuck. Like, it's not memorable. I think the Death Mountain in and of itself is memorable, but ascending to the top of Death Mountain in Ocarina of Time, much more memorable. This is as forgettable as Death Mountain is in Link to the Past. Because is it even in A Link to the Past? I think it is. And no one cares or remembers. Goron City, nowhere near as memorable. The forest, excellent work. Excellent job on the forest. That's the only one that, like, this feels like a Zelda forest to me. This feels like something from the other games. Can I talk to you, please? I don't know, and it sounds really nitpicky to say all those things, but it's just like, man, these towns are not interesting. I'm gonna see what this guy is, because I just beat the game. I've only played a little bit after I beat the game. What is he talking about? Can you just... Oh, yeah, that's right. Like, that's cool shit, but that's a lot of monster headgear. I'm super down. My computer just started making weird noises. I know, blah, blah, blah. And there's another... Like, okay, I think the biggest problem, and the one that maybe isn't nitpicky, are the quests. There's literally no reason to do any of them. Like, I'll look at the thing here in a second. Actually, there's a fire right here. I need to advance. Alright, here's my adventure log. Okay, so you can see how many side quests I've done. Roughly half of them. And I stopped doing a lot of that. A lot of these are complete and I just need to go do them. Maybe not a lot of them, but this one's complete. I just need to go turn it in. This one I don't care to do. This one's is complete. I just need to go do it. You know, so I maybe have almost 38. So pretty much half completed once I go and do all these. But there's no reason to do them. Like, there's no reason. Like, okay, I'm gonna complete. Actually, to show my point here, let's see which is one. Not that one. There's the Leviathan bones. Okay, so I have all these pictures. They're right here in my little picture album. Not there. Not there. Here. That's one of the bones. That's another quest one. That's the ice cave one, and that's the volcano one. Perfect, right? So I have. I'm on fire. Okay. I have all those. So let's go turn that quest in, right? We'll go turn it in. And this is the biggest problem to me. When you got to Kakariko Village in Ocarina of Time, and you talk to the man, and he's like, oh, my cuckoo, cook chickens are flying away. You gotta help me. You think, okay, fine, right? I'll help you. I've helped tons of people in other games. This is games, right? And it's also just being nice. So, whatever. You're a nice little man, and you find all the cuckoos, and you get an empty bottle, and you realize, oh, there's rewards for this. This is interesting. Well, okay. So what if I help this guy? What is he gonna give me? What is this character gonna give me? What is that person gonna give me? And in this game, sure, they'll give you stuff. They'll give you rewards, right? None of them are interesting. I would like to take a second, and maybe if you didn't notice it on the pause screen, I have 70,000 rupees. Okay, I don't need, and it's not like I've gathered a ton of shit. Okay, I got a bunch of garbage. I've fully upgraded this. This is upgraded once. I need a dumb item, I think, for it. This I've upgraded twice. Like, I have enough. I'm just lazy. I actually could probably upgrade both of those. I think I might need to grind for a few lizards for one of them. Anyway, there's no reason to. Like, there's no reason to do that with the combat and your defense, because you can just make stuff, right? So I don't need to buy better gear, because with the Guardians I can just do my little deflecty thing. Or I can use a potion, of which the game literally wants you to make potions for everything and teaches that to you, and that's fine. So there's no reward, right? There's no reward for any of that. Now here we're gonna go and see what this quest, is it her?
Hi.
Yeah, I know. And ruins like that, the one she's talking about, those are really, oh, it's these people. Those are really cool. Those, it's this place she's talking about. There. You go there and it's dark there. That's awesome, right? Getting into the forest, that incredible journeys here. Like the labyrinth there, or the labyrinth there, or the labyrinth here. Here. Interesting. Super interesting. Eventide? Who cares? Eventide Island. That's really cool. There are a ton of super cool, weird places on the map that are totally Zelda. 100% Zelda, and they're great. But I don't think a lot of the main stuff is up to that same par. So let's just talk to these people. Got it right here. Oh my gosh. You drew this? I did. I will assist you. Here it is. Like the worst picture. I'm doing it. So my guess here is I'm gonna get money. 300 rupees. Even if I didn't have that much money, what am I buying with the money? Nothing. You don't need to buy anything. I mean, look how many arrows I have with this. No. Fucking bomb arrows out the ass at the end of the game. Anyway. So I got 300 rupees. There's no reason to do that, right? The only quest I recommend anyone does, really, is to get these, where are they? The, oh, right here. These sand boots and these snow boots, which just allow you to run at normal speed in the snow or the sand, respectively. Those are super useful. I definitely don't need a tree branch. I freaked out the deer. Oh, hello, grass. I want to catch you with my hat. Anyway, so there's no reason to do any quests in this game. And it goes even further than that, right? Because these guys right here fighting me, there's no reason to fight them. Like, in the first 20 hours of the game, you're probably fighting most everything you run into, right? Just because it's fun and these stupid encounters happen way too often. And you're enjoying yourself, and it is enjoyable. It is very much a thing to be enjoyed. But there's no, after a certain point, after maybe 30, you know, maybe even more hours. Maybe I ran around fighting things for a lot longer than that, maybe into hour 40. I was fighting things. But you don't need to, right? There is no reason to. You don't level up. There's no, like, unlockable skill points for fighting. It's not like once you kill 500 bokoblins, this happens, you know. Nothing occurs. So there's no incentive to fight any of them. Furthermore, if we maybe find an encampment of sorts over there. No, well, goodbye, dragon. The giant skulls on the map, right? And you'll find dudes in them. Oh, I should have taken that. You'll find dudes in them. Oh, hello. But, and there's a chest, right? Oh, so like right here. If theoretically, if there were enemies there and if there was a chest, you beat all the enemies and then you get the chest, right? But we've already learned there's something in there. What am I gonna get? Money? Am I gonna get a bow and arrow or a shield? I'm fucking full of that stuff. I don't need any more. Right? And actually, I might as well. Actually, get my link hood. There. I do like the hood. It flippity flaps around. Anyway. I don't need the weapon, because here's the thing, right? The weapon? Oh, crap, I should have talked to that guy. Anyway, the weapons, you're going to break as many weapons as you probably get from a combat encounter. So that's a, you know, net neutral. It's not great for you, it's not bad for you, it's just a thing. If you find a shield, you're probably gonna not need it. Or you're gonna drop one you already have to make room for the new one. Right? You're always full with it. You're always full of bow stuff. Like, in combat, I very rarely do that. Because in combat, I never fight anything. Going back to it again, because I'm getting lost in thought and enemies. The chests that you find along the way. Where the fuck am I? There's nothing in them. There's nothing in them, ever. In a game like Ocarina of Time, let me help this guy. I know. Oh, she's gonna fight. That's right. I hate this. It's super annoying. I'm not fighting you. You'd run into a guy and he'd talk about something and you go, oh, okay. I bet there's something over there. And you go over there and there is, right? Here's a heart piece. And that's, I think, the biggest problem with this. I can go and see something in the distance like, oh, what's over there? I wonder what's over there. And it might be fun. It might be, and it is, incredibly fun to go over there and explore it and see, like, just what's over there. What's over there? What's over there? What's over that tree? That's weird. What's at the top of that mountain? And it's so much fun to do that and to see what's over the next hill, right? But there's no reason. There is nothing. It's not even like there's no reason, right? Let's take that back, actually. There's no reason to play Minecraft, right? There's no reason to. but there's a reward. Like, there's no reason to go into a cave in Minecraft. It's just dangerous. But you might find materials. You might find something useful. And you might find something useful here, too. Like, I guess I need more of these, of which I have 162. But I am 100% never in the overworld going to see something in the distance and have it be something as impactful as a piece of heart. Or as Furor's wind or something. Like, it's never going to be that. It's never going to be, oh, I wonder if this quest gives me an extra bottle. Never. That is never going to be a thing that happens in this game. And that's the biggest problem to me. So much of... Ooh, it's cold here. So much of Breath of the Wild, it gets so much right, but then so much of Zelda, I guess I should say, has always been finding the new things and learning the tricks and seeing, like, oh, if I talk to this person and then I get that, and there's like the item trading game. There's no item trading game here. There's a dumb kid who wants to see different weapons from around the world, and he gives me, 50 rupees every time. But that's trash, right? In another game, giving those 3 guys pictures would have given me a piece of heart, or would have given me an upgrade to the camera, would have given me literally anything. Why did it get dark? Oh, because it's raining. It would have given me anything. But you don't get anything here. The only thing in the world to find are shrines. That's the only thing you ever need to be looking out for. So when you see those skull encampments of like, oh, it'd be a tough encounter to fight all these guys. Yeah, it would be. There's no reason to. There is no reason to at all. Oh, what if I want their materials? Yeah, if I want their materials, fine. What do I need the materials for? Something that's not really necessary in the first place. Something that in your first 20, 30, 40 hours when you actually were fighting enemies, you should have already... That's dangerous. Oh, now I'm going to die over here. You should have already found enough of that. You don't need to be grinding out for materials. Oh, I thought I was somewhere else. Oh, I do want to go there, actually. There it is. You don't need to be grinding out for materials. You should have it. And it really was halfway through the game being like, none of this is necessary. Right? I mean, if the weapons and if the combat was not as kind of goofball-y, which is a point I'd go into if I wasn't in the middle of another one, if the weapons didn't break, which I don't mind, but if the weapons didn't break, I would be somewhat incentivized to fight things, because it is a fun combat system. But with weapons breaking, like, I'm just going to hoard them. I am just going to hoard all of these things until I need them, until I have to fight. And you really never do. And that's cool, but at the same time, that makes the whole open world filled with nothing. There's nothing here. And a part of me thinks that's fine, right? There it is. I don't know where the hell I was looking. Oh God, I'm not gonna make it there. Oh, this is bad news bears. I don't know. I don't even know if these points are making any sense. It's just really, I think overall, not disappointing, but just like a missed opportunity. Because I think the game is pretty damn phenomenal. But it's just not put together correctly. And I think if we look at something, I don't know what all those things are. If we look at something like 120 shrines, right? How many of them are combat shrines? At least 20. Okay, those combat shrines should be... Well, that made a really scary noise. These combat shrines should be mini bosses in a dungeon. I sold all my amber. That's how I got a lot of my money. I sold all my amber for $17,000. Oops. And then, oh, you killed all my jellies. No, God, I'm pressing all the wrong buttons. Okay, so the combat encounters. Oh, it's fucking stupid ass rain. Anyway, those should be mini bosses in a dungeon, and half these shrines, while I think a lot of them are super well designed and implemented, and fucking hate the rain so much. Oh my God, it's the worst. Like I don't even mind slipping. I mind that it takes stamina, and a lot of it. And especially when I'm gonna wait 5 minutes for the rain to stop fucking raining. Anyway, look at my wee, woo. Look at my hat. I love it. So there's shrines in this game that are one room, right? Oh, put this block over there. Done. Okay, there are shrines in this game that are one room because the quest was to get to it, right? The labyrinth ones, right? So it makes sense that the shrine itself is empty. Fine. Then there are ones that are 10 puzzles in a row, and I'm playing all these shrines and I'm thinking, why aren't the dungeons any good? Like, you have all this material. You have enough content for 8 dungeons at least with these shrines, and it would have been better to me. Make the world smaller, put the 8 dungeons in it. You don't need to have new items each time. You can still keep that as what you have at the beginning is what you need to complete it, and have minor upgrades, like a minor upgrade, like upgrading the bombs to the bomb plus, right? That could be something you find in a shrine, in an optional large dungeon shrine. The same with plus for stasis. It's just really strange to me. There's all these pieces here that I don't know. I don't know that they're quite put together the way I'd want, or the way I think they should be. And I guess that's not the right way to look at things. I think the game is incredibly impressive, but if we start breaking it down, it's just a lot of questions of you put all these shrines in and you sucked all of the shrine material out of the world, and then you put 900 Korok seeds in here. And the Korok seeds are some of the coolest parts of the game to me. They really feel like how secrets felt in a 2D Zelda applied to 3D. That is incredible. But then you made 900 of them, of which you only really need about 400 something to unlock everything with that dude, and still that's too many. And I've seen people who played the game for 60 something hours and they beat the game with 80 Korok seeds. And I'm looking at them like, how? Some of them are so hidden, and even me haven't even gotten half of them. And I've explored a large percentage of the map. I would argue 90% of the map, if not higher, I have seen. You know, I don't get a 55% clear rate because I'm dicking around. It's just weird. It's just not quite right. And the more I think about it, the more I think games like Wind Waker or Majora's Mask or Ocarina, those are better Zelda games. That's a Zelda game I want to play again and again and again. Like, will I play this game again? I don't know. It's just kind of, it's so big and overwhelming and kind of ridiculous in a lot of the ways it does things. I don't know. If I played it again, I'd probably mainline it, right? Because you find enough stuff along the way. I wouldn't ever get all the, like, my voice cracked, that was funny. You get enough stuff. I don't need this many hearts. I just don't like cooking that much. I could have just done cooking, right? I'd know where all the fairy fountains are. But it's not the same. It is not the same at all. There's nothing to collect. There's nothing to find. There's no big secrets. It's all a secret, and that makes the secrets not interesting. I don't even know if this is making sense. And it doesn't make sense because the game's incredible. It's so good. And there's some secret to this island. I just don't know what it is. It's just not the incredible Zelda experience I think it could be with a few easy tweaks. Like, imagine the shrines, right? Imagine the shrines if... So, there's the one... Like, I have on the left side, right? Those are the runes for beating each dungeon or divine beast, right? So, let's just start with the top one. The top one is Resurrection. And that one's kind of tough to base a dungeon around. But I think you could implement it in a way where maybe there's some kind of, like, you're controlling two of yourself. You could frame it that way. So you're moving your Link around, and I get here to press on a switch, I split, and then I go and solve a puzzle, right? And this only works on that dungeon. When I leave the dungeon, I get the resurrection ability. What's the resurrection ability? Essentially just saying, oh, it was your doppelganger that died, not you. And it gets swapped out, and like a doll version of Link falls over dead, and you keep moving over. That's how you do it. And I'll expand upon kind of what I'm saying with this too. The bird flight thing. It's limited to 3 uses in the overworld. Imagine a dungeon, and a full dungeon. We're talking 3 times larger than the divine beasts, because we've eliminated a lot of these shrines in this hypothetical, and you can now, all those shrines have been incorporated into one comprehensive dungeon. But now, in that dungeon, you can just jump super high, and all the puzzles are worked around that. Then we got the shield, right? Well, this dungeon is, in the dungeon, it's constantly, like, it's on lava. It's just in lava a lot of times, so you need it. It's just always on, protecting you, and you're walking on lava, and you're doing weird shit like that. And then in the overworld, and for the rest of the game, it works like this. Because why? Because that sage only can do its full power when you're at the dungeon, and the rest of the time, it's projecting its powers to you. So it would work the same way in the overworld, but in the dungeon, it'd be something special. It'd be a unique ability that only exists in that dungeon and doesn't need to exist elsewhere, but can in a limited capacity. And again, you don't need it to beat the game. Like, you don't need any of these abilities to beat the game. All you need are these, and you've gotten them at the beginning, so it doesn't break any of that you've already done. Then we got the final one, which is like a big AoE attack thing, and that could be something maybe along the lines of like Din's Fire in Ocarina of Time, where you need it to unlock... I guess I shouldn't just spend my entire time on this island. I want to go here. You'd use it to open up doors or solve certain puzzles, and maybe in the dungeon it can do something else, like focus your attacks in a vertical, like, straight line in front of you or something. Anything else that now you're using that for puzzles in that dungeon only, and in interesting ways. And because it's kind of electric, there could be a lot of magnesis and things in that shrine as well, and it's a dungeon of the shrine. And that's especially the problem too. A lot of these shrines don't focus, like, they're super open, so they never feel like, oh, that was a testing ground for the hook shot or the boomerang or the whatever. Because it never got there. Like, it never allowed itself to go full bore into any one area. I don't know. Does this make any sense? Is there a whole nother row underneath that? That's a shit ton of shields. Yeah, let's do it. Another 10 Korok seeds? Jeez. Jesus. I don't know. And it sounds super nitpicky and super stupid. I just think the game would have been better that way, or at least more interesting to me that way. And I think that's weird. Another 10? Gee, I don't know. Because the game is incredible, right? The game is so much fun. It does a lot of things right with The Legend of Zelda. However, I think the story is weak Even from Zelda standards, I think the story's better in Majora's, or even in Ocarina, or Wind Waker, or Twilight Princess. Like, I think the story's better in all those games, and in part of that, the problem is how fractured this story is. You know, I went 20 hours or something until I went to Kakariko Village. Like, that's not something that's even possible in the other games. So, how much do I need for the next one? Oh, I don't have it. That's crazy. I never even used all these weapons. Because I started hoarding everything. That's another thing. With the weapon durability, you need to be able to see how much is left. And things like hitting something in stasis needs to either not cost anything at all, or it needs to cost very little durability. Because breaking an item on a rock because you're trying to hit it into a hole is stupid. Bafflingly dumb. And I'm just so annoyed that it happened so many fucking times in the game. Or something like, I don't know. It's weird to one hand say like this game is so impressive, it'll go down in history as one of the probably greatest games of all time. It's one of the most important games of all time, even from just like a game design perspective. But I see the room for improvement. I see where it could be made better, not even in ways of like, oh, it could be a better Zelda game. Like, I just think all around it could be a better experience. And I don't want to say, oh, the world could be smaller. It'd be better if the world was smaller. Because maybe it would be. Maybe it would be better if the world was bigger and it was filled with different things, right? I think personally, the world size is basically fine. I would have preferred a little smaller, but I don't necessarily think that's a problem. There's a lot of game here, and exploring the world is the best part of it. Finding the shrines over the hill or whatever, that's the best part. Seeing what's around each corner, you know, going at the top of a hill and being like, what the fuck is that? Oh my gosh, I can't believe this was here. What is that? What does that do? Like, fighting the Hinoxes and finding one of them for the first time. Like, it's filled with so many great moments. Seeing one of those dragons for the first time. It really is incredible. Take that, nearby people. It's just, I guess it's a lot of yeah buts from you here. As much as I love the game, like I clearly like the game. I did all the shrines. I've done a lot of shit with this. I got 110 hours into the game. I clearly like the game, but there's a lot to be desired here. Quests shouldn't be just things, right? Like, quests shouldn't just be checkboxes to mark off on the list of things to do. They should be more than that. They should be something that allows you to find a shortcut, or teaches you a new optional song, like an Ocarina of Time, or that give you a bottle, or that have like, oh, this opened up a fairy fountain, or here's another thing. I'm so glad I remember that. The bomb pouch, right? The rupee pouch, the quiver of arrows, those upgrades, and finding them is one of the more memorable parts of Zelda to me. Like, I always remember, like, oh shit, you gotta go to the Lost Woods and get that. You can get that really early. You get the hook shot or the slingshot, and you shoot that thing, and then you get the better, you know, bullet shooty. But that's not here, right? Like, there's no equivalent to that here. And I do think the upgrades are sorely missed. No, shit, I didn't mean morning, I meant noon. Because, like, that could have been rewards, right? Beating that guy, the Foothills race guy. beating him at a race could have been a piece of heart. And you know what it could have been? A stamina upgrade. Here's a fifth of the stamina bar. But instead it's nothing. Instead it's just a thing you did. Here's 50 rupees. At best it's a shrine quest. At best. That's great, I'm so glad. Alright, so let's see what I get on this quest. I get to hear a woman scream. That's good. So it's you. I don't even know, like, okay, whatever. Alright. Here's the other problem, too. What's this about? 40 out of 42. I guess I didn't get 2 of the shrine quests, but I completed all the shrines? In the middle of Thundara Plateau. I don't even remember what that is. Thundara Plateau. Is that this one over here? That's not a plateau. I'm actually really curious. What the fuck is that even talking about? You set the 4 spirits. Oh, Thundara Plateau. That's over here. Yeah, that was kind of annoying. And that's the thing too. A lot of these places are super cool. Like this is actually a really cool area, and so is this, so is that. And then you go there once and you never go back. Like making a world so big means that you don't get to know it as intimately or as interestingly as you would the other areas. And while I'm talking about that, I completely forgot the Rito Village, which is hot garbage. I love Dragon Roost Island. That's one of my favorite places. The Rito are one of my favorite, like probably my favorite species of weird thing in this game. That they, you know, like, and there's, they ruined them. They're trash in this game. They're stupid. This doesn't need to be here. I'll just leave it. I'm probably never playing the game after this point. Or at least not for a long, until in the DLC, actually, the DLC. Yeah, let me put my Switch shirt back on. Hooray. The game is the game. Oh, have you gotta see this too. Where's my pants? Those look better. Those are the ones the game gives you. Look at these little weird ass shorts. Oh, they're terrible. So these pants are better. Look at how cool Link's looks like that though. That's fucking Link. This is what I'm talking about. Oh, do I have a bow that I could use? No, none of the bows look. There's no mirror shield. There's nothing. I guess that's what it is. I feel like it could have and should have been. It's so impressive, right? What it does well, it does so well that the thing is it doesn't do well hit hard to me. But I'm glad to be done. It's a long ass game. Let me see if I can have him fight the townsfolk. No? Yippee skippy. Right, like how many of these quests should I do? They're stupid. I need to go buy this dumb house. Whatever. Wait, how much did he want? I can buy it for 50k now. That's a lot of money. There's this chick in the Gerudo town who will buy gems in groups of 10. And if you have, 10 of sapphires, she'll pay more for them. That's how I got a lot of my money. That's how I got my first 25,000. And then I spent a lot of it because of all the great fairies. And now I'm back to 70 because I sold her a ton of stuff. And then I sold 17 grand worth of amber. Now I had 450. I have one now. Oh boy. I don't know. I ended up talking for a while. I mean, it is picturesque. No one's disputing that.